Imagine you're walking through a forest after it rains. Everything feels alive. You see endless shades of green, brown tree trunks, red berries, yellow flowers catching the sunlight. And then, suddenly, a flash of blue. Not pale, not grayish, but vivid, electric, almost unreal. You stop, because it feels different from everything else around it. And it is. In nature, blue is strangely rare. But why? If blue is one of the primary colors, if it's everywhere in our screens, our clothes, our logos, why is it almost missing from living things? Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and leave a like, because after this, you'll never look at color the same way again. Here's the surprising truth. Blue isn't rare because nature forgot it. Blue is rare because it's incredibly hard to make. To understand why, we need to start with something simple. Color doesn't exist inside objects the way we think it does. Color is light. When white light hits something, that object absorbs certain wavelengths and reflects others. The color you see is the light that bounces back into your eyes. Leaves look green because they absorb most colors of light, but reflect green. Simple. But here's where things get complicated. To create a true blue pigment, an organism needs a molecule that absorbs almost every other visible wavelength except blue. And chemically, that's extremely difficult. Red and yellow pigments are relatively easy for biological systems to produce. Their molecular structures are simpler and more stable. But blue pigments require very specific, complex molecular arrangements. They're energetically expensive, hard to build, hard to maintain. And evolution is efficient. If something costs too much energy and doesn't provide a strong survival advantage, it usually doesn't stick around. That's why there's almost no truly blue mammals. In fact, there are essentially none with natural blue pigment in their fur or skin. Now here's where most people get confused. Many animals that look blue aren't actually blue. Take the wings of a morpho butterfly or the feathers of a blue jay. They appear brilliantly blue, but if you crushed those feathers or wings into powder, the blue would disappear, because there is no blue pigment. Instead, there is structure. On a microscopic level, their surfaces are built with tiny layers and ridges that manipulate light. These nanostructures scatter and interfere with light waves in such a way that only blue wavelengths are reflected strongly back to your eyes. It's physics, not chemistry. This is called structural coloration, and it's the same reason the sky looks blue. The atmosphere doesn't contain blue pigment. Air molecules scatter shorter blue wavelengths more efficiently than longer red ones. So here's the key distinction. Structural blue is fairly common. Pigment-based blue is rare, and that difference changes everything. What about plants? Blue flowers exist, but they're uncommon compared to red, yellow, or white ones. Creating blue in plants requires altering the internal chemistry of pigments like anthocyanins, often combined with specific pH levels and metal ions inside the cells. It's a delicate balance. Many flowers we casually call blue are actually closer to violet or purple. True saturated blue is difficult to stabilize in living tissue. And from an evolutionary perspective, there's another factor. Pollinators like bees can already see ultraviolet patterns and are highly attracted to bright contrasts. Red and yellow are effective, so if those colors already work, why invest extra energy into engineering a complicated blue? Evolution doesn't aim for beauty, it aims for efficiency. But here's what surprises most people. When blue does appear, it stands out dramatically. In a world dominated by greens and browns, blue is visually shocking. That rarity makes it powerful. It can attract mates, signal health, intimidate rivals. Sometimes being rare is the advantage. And then there's the ocean. Many of the animals that appear blue live in marine environments. That's not a coincidence. Water absorbs longer wavelengths like red and orange very quickly. Blue light travels the farthest underwater. So in deep water, being blue can actually make you harder to see. What feels vibrant to us at the surface can function as camouflage below. So the real reason blue is uncommon in nature isn't mysterious. It's physical, it's chemical.
It's economical. Blue pigments are difficult to produce at the molecular level. Structural blue requires intricate microscopic architecture, and evolution only chooses these solutions when the benefit outweighs the cost. Next time you see a bright blue butterfly, a shimmering bird, or a rare blue flower, you'll know you're not just looking at a color. You're looking at an engineering decision, a solution that required either complex chemistry or precise nanostructures. And in a world shaped by efficiency, that makes blue something special, because sometimes the simplest things hide the most misunderstood truths.